The following program, offered by Fox 19, includes lawyers licensed in Kentucky. For those lawyers to maintain compliance with the Kentucky Bar Association requirements, the phrase, "This is an advertisement," must appear on the screen. Moore Law is underwritten in the public interest by the Moore Law Firm, a legal professional association. This is Moore Law on Fox 19.
Welcome to Moore Law. Each week we talk about a different legal topic and we'll take your legal questions live on the air. Today our topic is divorce and child custody. It is never pleasant, but it is important to know what your rights are. For example, how long does it take to get a divorce? Who gets custody of the kids? What about child support? If you have a question about divorce, child custody, child support, or any family law issue, give us a call here at 513-421-4691. With me today and every Monday, Don Moore. Don, so we're back together again today.
Yeah, we are. We sure missed you last week.
Well, thanks. I'm feeling a lot better, but you're a little under the weather.
I am struggling. I got a little case of laryngitis toward the end of last week, and I'm doing my best to beat it today. A little froggy.
All right. Well, we will get together. We will get through it. But I understand now I have to call you Mr. President?
Well,
you'd like me to?
Not, no, not exactly. I had a really great honor this past week. I was elected president of the largest personal injury attorneys group in the state of Ohio. That was the Ohio Association for Justice.
Congratulations.
My term will actually start in a year. So you're president-elect for a year, and then you're automatically president. So it was a great honor, and
And well deserved.
But you can just call me Don.
All right, well, okay, I'll do that then.
So listen, speaking of what to call each other, I am so excited today because we've got Phyllis Bossin with us, and I've known Phyllis for more than 25 years. Phyllis, welcome.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Phyllis, we were talking a little bit about, in your line of work, you know, when do people call you? When should they call you, and what should they be asking if they're looking for a divorce attorney for all of these issues? It's very overwhelming.
It is very overwhelming to people. People should start calling a family law attorney as soon as they think they're going to need one, at the very beginning of the process. If they're contemplating divorce, or if they think their spouse is contemplating divorce. If they need to get in, they need to get a lawyer who specializes in family law.
Okay, all right, thanks for that. We do have a lot of calls today, so we want to start. Don, you wanted to say something?
I do.
Okay.
I got a couple, just quickly, because I know the phone lines are busy, and there's a couple things I wanted to mention. One, I want everybody to know that Phyllis has been doing this for a long time, and she really, really does it well. She's been recognized in many respects. This is her area. This is what she does. So I don't think anybody can come up with a question that she's not going to know the answer to. That's one. I have a question for her, though, first.
Okay.
As we've discussed a couple of times, I'm a personal injury lawyer. I handle cases where people are injured or killed. One of the things, I don't collect, I don't get paid. That's different than the way DR lawyers work, and I was hoping that Phyllis could talk about that for a minute.
If Phyllis could talk about that when we come back. I believe we're having some technical difficulties, so we will get those resolved, and we'll be right back. Here's what's coming up in the next few weeks on Moore Law. On May 14th, Kids in Trouble. May 21st, Hurt on the Job. And on May 28th, we'll talk about veterans benefits. Today, of course, we are talking about divorce and child custody. Our guest, Phyllis Bossin. Phyllis, before the break, we were talking a little bit about fee structure. Can you talk about when somebody comes to see you, what they can expect?
Yes, well, we certainly cannot charge contingent fees. It's actually not ethical, so divorce lawyers cannot do that. Divorce lawyers, for the most part, charge by the hour. And that may not seem reasonable because you can't actually quote a fee to somebody. People always want to know how much it's going to cost, and it's impossible to predict.
Well, you don't know how long this is going to go on, and a lot of the issues involved.
And you don't know what the other spouse's lawyer is going to do or not do.
Right. Phyllis, in the tri-state area, for the lawyers who do domestic relations on a regular basis, what kind of a range are we talking about?
I think some of the younger lawyers probably would start at around $150 an hour, and at the high range would be $450.
Okay.
That would be the range.
That's helpful.
Okay. Now let us go to the phones. We have Linda in Cincinnati. I know you've been waiting a while, Linda. Go ahead.
Yes, I am calling to ask a question about when the parents are not married and the mother has left the city or the state with the child. They were in a relationship and she just ended it abruptly, and she left the father, just dropped him, and she left with the child, and now he is trying to get the custody right.
But they're not, the parents are not married?
No, they're not.
Okay.
The statutes regarding custody are the same for people who are married and people who are not married. So if the person left the state with the child, but they had been in Ohio, the child had been in Ohio, both parents had been in Ohio, Ohio would be the state with jurisdiction. And the Ohio courts would be able to make an order which would be enforceable in another state.
Phyllis, in that circumstance, would the appropriate court be juvenile, or would it be domestic relations?
It would be juvenile court, which has exclusive jurisdiction in cases where the parents are not married.
Okay.
But the very same statutes apply.
Very good.
Okay, thanks for that. We have another caller now, Ed in Cincinnati. Ed?
I had a question. I was wondering if you have an attorney and you've looked at your assets and your income, and you don't believe that your attorney has the same philosophy, when it would be too late to get a second opinion from a different attorney.
And it's never too late to get a second opinion. The relationship that a person has with their attorney is very important. You have to trust your attorney and believe they're working for you. So it's always appropriate to tell your attorney that you would like to get a second opinion. Most attorneys will actually encourage you to do that. And it's also never too late to change counsel. Well, that's not true. It could be too late, but it's better to change counsel and try to continue something in court than go forward if you're not comfortable.
I think one of the things that you have in common with Don in the practice is these are cases that can go on for a long time.
They can go on for a long time, and the relationship is very important. So it's very important that there's a trusting relationship and not an adversarial relationship between the client and the attorney.
One of the things I was going to mention is, you know, the attorney wants a client that has confidence in them as well.
Absolutely.
So once a client realizes that they just don't have confidence in their lawyer, they ought to look at getting another one. There's tons of lawyers around. It's not hard to find a lawyer.
Absolutely true.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Well, the phones are blowing up today. Let's go with, let's see, Joe in Clinton County. Joe, you had a question about divorce.
Yes, what I'm calling about, I got a couple questions. I've been married for 21 years. I've been disabled for the last 4. My wife's the primary breadwinner of the family. How's the assets split up in the state of Ohio is the first question. And my second question is, I got a 16-year-old son that lives with me, and when she filed for divorce papers, she said that she had him like 4 days a week. And how's that go? Does he get to decide on who he wants to stay with as far as that goes since he's 16, or how's that work?
I'll take the first part of your question first. Assets are divided pretty much equally in the state of Ohio, and it doesn't matter who earned them or who's been the primary breadwinner. Everybody is considered to have contributed equally to the accumulation of assets, so they will be divided equally. As far as who's going to get custody of a child who's 16, at that age, a 16-year-old pretty much is going to, without some extenuating circumstances, have a great deal of say in where he lives.
All right, thanks for that. And we are going to take a break now, but we will be taking more questions on divorce and family law when we come back.